Your geometry builds right now look horrible, but with the 83 grading tricks I'm about to give you, you'll be able to easily transform your build into something way better and impress everyone around you. From making a whole galaxy with just 2 objects, to making this cool chain out of letters. Literally. Let's start with trick number 1. If you place a filled circle object behind an orb, you can make the orb look a lot cooler and give it a lot of different colors. Make sure it isn't too big though. This was just a simple trick. Just like the fact that when you enable Don't Fade and Don't Enter for all your objects, your level will look a million times better. This is the before having these weird effects, and this is the after result with the stupid effect being gone. When you make a small piece of glow giant, you can still do a lot of things with it. One of these things is you being able to make this glow cover your entire level and putting blending on it with a bright color, making every single object have a nice looking gradient. Your level will look so much better now. Hold up! Go to your options in the main menu and go all the way to this tab where you can see the option Enable Normal Music in Editor. This allows you to listen to your level's music even when in practice mode, so you can easily see if your level syncs or not. These are 3 spikes, but instead of a boring triple spike, you can use something way cooler for your gameplay. Speed portals. Switch your spikes out for them. Once you hit one of these portals, make sure the next jumps aren't possible anymore, making the player need to avoid these portals at any cost. If you don't like this idea, you can also just make the current spikes way more spiky. Use a warp trigger to make them more thin, more pointy, and most important of all, way better. Backgrounds can be changed to any color, but isn't it a little annoying that you can't see the result while changing it? Wait! You can! When you click on your editor settings, you can see this box with a blue background. Now just click on the plus next to the background button and you can adjust colors while seeing the background change. Blee is one of the best Geometry Dash creators, and once added something in one of his levels that was insanely original. For chains, he used the Pusap font, the standard Geometry Dash font. By placing different letters on top of each other, you're able to create a realistic looking chain. 9. A standard block looks ugly, so how about we make it way more beautiful? First, make it 0.9 times the size of its usual form and add balls in each corner like this. Now add some lines and you have a way cooler looking block you can use. With these tips, you're finally starting to make a decent level. Good job. But why does it still look so boring and repetitive? Well, I know why. Because there isn't enough variation. You can make your level more interesting by adding small versions of your structure inside your level. And look, it's so much better now. Trick 11. To make an object have a shiny effect, put 2 of these objects on it. They are special objects that only glow once they enter and leave the screen. But when adding it on another object, they can also be useful. If you place one of them on a block, copy it and turn it around, you can, without adding glow, get a cool effect when your object enters the screen. 2 tips in 1. Fill a soul with black objects to make it look better. And not just that, you can make it rotate really slowly when typing this number into the rotate trigger speed, together with the rotation lasting 15 seconds. This is the end result. Woo! Yes you, can make a good looking lamp in just 4 objects, like this creator did in his art piece. By placing 2 objects that are warped to the side against each other, then putting a circle and a chain inside it, you'll get a small lamp. This lamp was made by Galvatron, who also made the level speed tag. Inside the level, he very smartly used particles to create electrical wires throughout the whole level. 16. You can rotate unrotatable objects with warp. Just click on the warp trigger and rotate any object you want. Or what about making a flower out of 2 hearts and an arrow? It looks actually kind of mid. So time to go up a tier where we talk about way better stuff. It's time to talk about some more original editor hacks. Look, this block right now looks hella boring, but how about now? It looks so much better. Just copy your block, place it 1 pixel to the right and down, and voila! You have a small 3D effect. But there is an even easier way to do this. Just add a glitch trigger, put all the values on 0.01, and now you have this blue and pink effect on all your objects for an amazing effect. Look at your objects right now. You most likely can only see a few of them at a time and need to scroll for a long time to reach your desired object you want to place in your level. But what if I told you there's an easy solution for this? Go to your settings and put the buttons per row and button rows to the highest number possible. Now your editor looks like this and you can get to your object way more quickly. Let's check out Blee again and take a closer look to his latest level. If you look closely at his tree, you can see that it does not consist out of leaves, but clouds. Yes, you can make leaves with clouds and make them look way better than making your own custom leaves like I did. This door looks like it takes hundreds of objects, but in actuality, it only takes 4. Just make your entire screen black Add 2 white blocks and add some glow, and you're done. And if we scroll a little further into the level, I found this place where we can see a conveyor belt which looks like it's moving, but it is just an optical illusion. You can make an easy conveyor belt or ground effect with these objects that look like they are moving. Place a lot beside each other and you got an amazing looking ground already. 24. If you hate triggers like I do and still want to add a cool effect to your block, fear no more. When you choose a color for an object, it always gets assigned a number. Let's give our object color 1. Click on copy color and put an ID of another color in there. Let's say color 2. Now go to color 2 and put the ID of color 1 in it. Boom! You now have a flickering object. Placing a regular portal down in your level just feels wrong. It lacks something. And I know what it is. A background. Make this small circle really big, then make it black with an opacity of 50% and put it behind the portal. Like this, it just stands out a little more. Hooray! Wait, what? Why is this object moving with me? Oh yeah, it's my jump indicator. I made it turn red whenever I need to jump, so instead of placing tens of indicators throughout my entire level, I can just place down one and call it a day. This heartbeat sound has a BPM of 100. But what if we added these BPMs in Geometry Dash? This mod adds BPM information about every song in Geometry Dash, making you able to easily add pulses on the beat. These wave objects look cool, but there's a trick you can do with them. By making them blue and putting them below each other, you can, with a few objects on the sides, create a very simple waterfall. And this is not the only way to make a waterfall. By stretching this fire object, you can make an even simpler one of around the same quality. Ideas for levels can be great, but they also can be horrendous. What if you make a level where people need to avoid obstacles that teleport you to an unescapable prison? Or even worse, a place with a crash trigger. This will make the player try not to die even more than usual. Okay, that was a joke. Let's get serious again. You are able to change the brightness of your glow by making different versions of them. Add 10 glow particles next to each other, for example, and make each one brighter than the previous one by adding one extra glow object. You can easily choose your brightness like this. Have you ever gotten annoyed that you couldn't find a good object for a structure of yours? You want to make a cool building, for example, but can't find the right shapes for it. Like, there are only squares and triangles you can find in the game. Well, this banger tip will save you by adding all these rock objects to your level. Wait, this will never fit in with the rest. I know. But if you make the base color, which is the first color that pops up here, invisible, you get these custom shapes that you can place anywhere in your level. I talked about jump indicators a while back, and an even better way to show these in your level is by using particles to create an animated effect for the indicator with just one object. You can copy these values for this effect. 34. This right here is a structure. I'm not gonna lie, looks super boring. But if we add structures inside the structure, all of a sudden it looks way better. Do this especially if you have a big one. A quick editor tip. Use Ctrl Z to rapidly undo your mistakes. If you swiped a lot of objects in the editor, you should do this. Okay. Time for 10 quick tricks. Ctrl Z isn't the only shortcut you can use. Use different buttons to move your object or rotate it. You can make blocks slippery by enabling the ice block function in the options at the group tab. Place one of these objects down in the editor and put tiny squares in them so they look like buildings. By warping 2 of these bushes to the right and to the left and combining them, you can create a more detailed cloud. If you go to the delete section and click on the bottom right button while having an object selected, you can from now on only delete that object. Nothing else. The rest will stay intact when deleting stuff. Also with this feature, by enabling the select filter, you can select specific objects in one swipe. You can turn slopes into better looking spikes like this. Put animated objects to one frame so they become static and you can easily fit them into your level. Add random grass and bushes into your level to make it feel more alive. You can make a custom ladder with a lava animation, which will also make it swing realistically. Okay, time to rest. This is an orb, and this is a speed portal. Sometimes you want to combine these two by making the level speed up when you hit an orb, but it often looks messy. An easy fix is by adding black glow in front of the speed portal, but behind the orb, to make it stand out and easier to see. Right now, enable link controls in the editor options. This will add a weird chain button on the left of your screen, which is really useful. By selecting a structure and clicking on the chain, it now counts as one object and is a way to easily select a specific portion of your level in one go. 48. The particle objects are back again. With 2 of the particles looking away from each other, you can make a story night background in a single minute. These are the settings you need to use for it. We are going a bit too quick, so let's change from all these different difficult contraptions to something more simple. When you want to make your object look a little better, you often put glow behind it. But don't make the mistake of making the glow the exact same color. Instead, make it a slightly different darker color. You can see how much better it looks. Trick 50. Turn on ignore damage to playtest your level without dying the entire time. Okay, wait guys, this is really stupid. Don't you always feel like your level looks a little bland, even after spending more than 10 hours on it, like it's missing something? Well, there is a solution. With the image mod, you can import any image you want in the game, from a stupid dog to a beach. Just don't use it too much like I did here. Transitions are really hard to make, and if you don't do it well, people will hate your level. But there's an amazing way to make your transitions 10 times smoother in one go. If you place down a new portal, don't add any structures yet, only the portal. Now playtest the level until you reach this portal and check the green line. If it looks a bit choppy, place the portal at a place where the green line almost looks completely smooth and everything will flow so much better. To quickly place down objects, you can click the swipe button and just hold while you're spamming objects on the screen, but it can quickly become annoying to keep selecting this button whenever you want to do this. However, with the option hold to swipe, you just need to hold to quickly place down objects and you only need to select this button once. Holy guacamole! Check this design out. This must have taken hundreds of objects. Let's select everything and see how many objects it actually consists out of. What? One? Yes. By placing a smoke effect down and extending it with a warp trigger, you can turn it into a good looking cloud. 55. A simple way to check if your level looks good before uploading it is to turn the game mode to platformer for a bit. You can stand still and carefully inspect each object for mistakes. Just like you can create an original perfect circle in the editor by typing a colon in the standard GD font. Put two of these symbols opposite to each other and keep rotating them one by one until it looks like a circle. Boom! Done. If your level has a lot of effects, there's an easy way for you to not have to change all triggers you use in the level the whole time whenever you make a new structure. You can just copy the structure and the triggers and click on the build helper. This will immediately change all groups to a value that hasn't been chosen yet and does all the annoying work for you. With the latest update, so many new things have been added, like moon objects. The moon can be used in a level as decoration, but for different ways too. If you extend it and make it small, it can work as a way to easily make cool artworks like this kitty that has been made out of just moons. For a cool gameplay effect, you can make a red orb follow you, so every time you click, you do a giant jump. Or what about a simple water reflection you can make with this object right here? Place it on the water you made, make it a lighter color, and you now have a very simple but amazing reflection. Whew. Whoa. This side looks scary. So let's make it 100 times more scary. Copy this side 5 times or more for this really cool effect that makes it very dangerous. 62. If the ship part in your level looks a little empty, add these arrows into the level that fill up the space really quickly if you put down a lot of them. I made my level way too hard, but I don't want to redo the entire thing. What should I do? Great question. What you can do is add a very sneaky secret way. Not one of the regular ones that are super easy to cheese, but a hidden one. The following secret way only works in platformer mode. Place a dash orb somewhere in the level and turn it slightly up and turn to the left. When the player hits it, it'll lead to a wall where you slowly go up, and at the top, you guessed it, is your portal to victory. Nobody will ever notice. You can use this fire animation right here to make grass. Make sure it's static first, and then just place it down somewhere in the level. I like it a lot better than the current grass objects. 65. A good way to choose the colors of your structure is to use this strategy. First, make sure the structure will have just one certain color. Now make each tint of colors +6 hue and -8 brightness. The different tints look like this, and with these colors you can make some amazing block designs, which work for every single color. These colors and block designs I talked about might be too hard for you to make. So if you really struggle with it, start by making a huge object and decorate it from there. Once done, make it tinier with the warp button, and you now have a super detailed block that looks good. 2 tips about the soul. If your soul looks like this, you're doing something wrong. Try placing them in the ground with only a small piece poking out and make them go really slow. It'll look way better. See? While on the soul tab, let's talk about something similar. Do you know how I first told you about how you make a perfect circle with dots? Well, technically it's not a circle, because the balls aren't connected and there's a much simpler way to make a circle anyways. Grab this object and rotate it so it looks like a circle, and that's it. If you're making a level with an insane amount of objects, stop. before ruining your life. Begin instead of the start from the end of the level, to avoid lag when using a start position to test out parts of your level. It sounds weird, but it really makes a big difference. 71. For a cool effect, you can add a block on these pixel chains and make them drop down with a move trigger effect. Okay, time for the final 12, guys. Almost done. My cube looks hella ugly. I'm sorry, QB boy, but you just don't look too good. But there is a solution for this. When using a bulge trigger, you can make it a ball. It still interacts like the cube, but just looks like a ball. Even though it's not useful, I still felt like mentioning it. Bad luck. Did you know that you can recreate Raptopus' icon in Geometry Dash? With these two objects, you can make his icon and add him inside your level if it relates to him. A super smart idea is the following trick. Create a black canvas out of these specific small objects and make sure everything is filled. Now go to the delete section and turn on the swipe mode. From here you can start carving out a nice background to use in your level, which can look really cool if you spend some effort on it. Boo! Are you making a horror level? If the answer is yes, the following trick is really useful for you. With this particle object, think about the bottom part being gone and it being bigger. Yeah. It looks exactly like a scratch by a monster that can be used for great effects. You can place some blocks in the background, it's usable anywhere. This is the color button, used to change the color of an object. But when you have your object selected, you, instead of clicking on this color button, can also click twice on it, which makes an HSV tab open up. Now you can easily change the HSV of an object without going to the edit tab, clicking on a color and then changing it. Way more efficient. For the final 6 ideas, I decided to make them design related. Here are my 6 favorite ones. The first one is this orb consisting out of just 8 objects that are listed here from left to right. Put all of them on top of each other and you have this amazing looking orb. This laser beam can be remade in Geometry Dash. Any animated object works. Just extend it vertically and boom, you got yourself a beam. Our third design hack is using these blood splatter objects to create detailed leaves that you can put on blocks or a custom made tree. And what's also cool is a rainbow effect you can make by adding a pulse trigger with the U put all the way to the right and then adding a lot of these triggers in the editor next to each other to keep the effect going. Just don't use it on too many objects. You can upgrade this boring looking soul here in just one step. By adding 3 black boxes in it, like this, the soul looks so much more epic, which also gives you an optical illusion. The final design tip for today is you being able to create a cinematic effect by placing 2 black bars on the top and bottom of the screen and making them move with the player. The whole mechanism is explained in the description. Oh wait, we have one more tip left. Oh yeah, the most important one. Writing subscribe to Webbo in your level, because I wanna become a sheep now.